It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
Investors are buying sight unseen, subject to building and pest inspection. Now, the draw card for Toowoomba investors is the fact that it is a constant growth. And when they ever have to sell, they know they're going to grow their money.
And in Queensland, that is Jacqui Walker on the Real Estate Breakfast this morning as we launch into another episode with more property information, connecting you to the largest real estate breakfast library across Australia every morning. And we are doing that for you 7 days a week. And you can stream us anytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts and Amazon. And it's a Friday. Where has the working week gone? Friday, March the 7th. And good morning to you, Dano in Perth. Thank you for your email. Emailed in to say that you have been studying the real estate market and you and your girlfriend are saving like crazy to get ahead and set yourselves up before getting married next year. Hey, congratulations to you and your partner. As far as the savings is concerned, you've got to, 70% of the deposit is in the bank so far. So well done. And you're looking to buy a unit there in Perth. Let us know the outcome there, Dano, and especially as far as getting married is concerned as well. Now, from PropTrack this morning, nationwide new property listings are up, rising 7.9% year on year, 8.9% over the 5-year average. Canberra, Melbourne and Sydney lead with significant increases. Adelaide saw a slight decrease driven by high demand and affordability issues. Perth, Brisbane and Adelaide maintained steady volumes, leading to less dramatic growth. Overall, they say that the increased listings signal a shifting market dynamic across Australia's capital cities. Well, that, of course, is if you are a homeowner, not that dynamic if you are trying to buy your first property. But right now, let's catch up with Jacqui Walker. She's from ReMax and she is in Toowoomba. And a very good morning to you, Jacqui. Welcome to the Real Estate Breakfast.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
So Toowoomba, tell us a little bit about it, one of the fastest growing areas in the country.
Yes, look, Toowoomba's a very stable location, which is really good. We see continued growth. Here in Toowoomba, we don't get the fluctuating like you do throughout other places throughout Australia. We stay very, very steady. In fact, we never see a decline. We just see that very steady growth. So it makes it a very safe market to buy in.
This report that I was just talking about last year, personal circumstances for people drove many sales, with 39% citing timing as absolutely ideal. You would have seen that in your market where, for whatever reason, the timing was there for people to purchase?
Yes, absolutely. And it's always a good time to purchase. The best time to purchase is when you're ready, that you've got good, stable income to uphold your repayments and things like that. The market itself, I don't see that there's any better time to buy than to buy now.
Okay, and Toowoomba doesn't rely on any market factors like infrastructure, etc., or like mining. Second largest regional city in Australia. I mean, that's quite a big achievement, really, for Toowoomba. You kind of stand on your own 2 legs, so to speak.
That's exactly right. So Toowoomba, being the second largest inland city in Australia, just makes it an incredible place to buy, live and sell. Investment to families, just a wonderful, wonderful town. So that's why we continue with that steady growth.
Now, Dano there, saving all of his dollars, he and his girlfriend in Perth, wanting to buy a unit. How are those first-time buyers in your market? And just as significantly, how many of out-of-towners are you seeing move in?
We are still seeing a lot of first home buyers. I do feel for them though, because it's quite difficult with the increased in prices constantly. And then thankfully we did see that bit of a rate drop, which certainly will help them into the market a bit more. But first home buyers in Toowoomba, a brand new unit is an excellent property to buy because they're a lot cheaper than a house and land, obviously. And of course, with the brand new units, etc., you can get all the grants, the government grants. So that really helps the first home buyers. So we're still seeing first home buyers, but it's not easy for them to get in unless they are like Dano and actually can save and have a decent deposit.
And just talking about the units, let's have that breakdown, perhaps on an existing unit and new units. What's the median price in that range?
Okay, so we are finding that a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single garage unit median price would be around your $595,000 to your $600,000. And for your homes, your median price is that $700,000.
And just in terms of the homes, what are you getting for that? How much land would be with that?
Look, you'd be looking at around about your 500 square metres.
And what about something that's a little bit larger? Have you got lifestyle properties maybe just out of town?
Yeah, so your lifestyle properties, you'll find, so you want a 4-bed, 2-bath, double garage on, say, an acre block in your surrounding areas of Toowoomba, like your Highfield, your Westbrook. Look, you are heading towards that $1 million in reality. I know your stats might say average price would be $850, but that really isn't reality. It's very difficult to find a beautiful home under $1 million in Toowoomba, really, something that is really schmick. So if you want something that's quite nice, 4-bed, 2-bath, double garage, big shed on an acre block, say just out of town at Highfields or Westbrook, you'd be looking at your $1 million.
We are talking to Jacqui Walker from ReMax this morning. She is in Toowoomba, which is one of the fastest growing areas in Australia. I wonder how many of the first-time buyers have listened to some of our commentary and thought, yeah, let's move into a smaller regional area. We'll come back after this with more.
Every morning from 6 a.m. across Australia, we deliver you the latest property news, commentary and predictions from Perth to Cairns and from Melbourne to Brisbane, 7 days a week.
Good morning to you, Matthew. A little bit of good news in your corner. You were voted on to Pippa, so congratulations. Well done.
Thanks, Craig. Yeah, it's a very exciting opportunity for me to join the board of Pippa, which is the Property Investment Professionals of Australia, for anyone who's unaware of them, and join some of the top practitioners in the industry and help them advocate for higher standards in the industry, support investor education, and get people access to qualified independent advice. And it was a very productive day, and I'm looking forward to what we can achieve this year together.
How big is the organisation, just for those listening this morning?
There's hundreds of members across the country, and it's one of the longest standing organisations in the country as well. And all the members adhere to a strict code of conduct. And it's not, I'm also a member of REBA, which is the Real Estate Buyers Agency Association of Australia. That's specifically for buyers agents, whereas Pippa extends to other advisors, finance and mortgage brokers, accountants, anyone in that space.
Every morning from 6 a.m, we bring you the latest real estate news with diverse perspectives from leading industry experts. We deliver the most property podcasts across Australia every week.
And it is a Real Estate Friday. We are in Toowoomba talking with Jacqui this morning. And let me ask you, as far as the investors are concerned, what is happening at the moment, Jacqui?
Okay, so we're seeing a lot of investors, especially from interstate. So we get a lot of phone calls. Investors are buying sight unseen, subject to building and pest inspection. We're seeing a lot of investors from Sydney and particular Melbourne as well, and ones coming in from out of town, out west, etc. Now, the draw card for Toowoomba investors is the fact that it is a constant growth. So because we have that constant growth, they know it's very, very very safe to buy a home to Toowoomba, and when they ever have to sell, they know they're going to grow their money, and it can grow significantly. I have seen investors buy, say, 2 years ago and turning around getting more than $200,000 from the sale. So that's really good. Although then you've got your capital gains tax to pay, of course. But in saying that, the growth in Toowoomba is phenomenal.
So that is the investors. You've also got families that are moving in. What is the draw card for people to move to Toowoomba?
Well, we have amazing schools in Toowoomba. So for families, Toowoomba is the hub of education. We have many amazing private schools, plus we have the big university here, and we have some of the very best state schools here in Toowoomba. So education is a huge draw card. Plus, we're not that far from Brisbane, which is really great. There is talk of the fast train linking Toowoomba to Brisbane, enabling 45 minutes from Toowoomba City to Brisbane City. However, there is people saying that's never going to happen. But I've been to breakfasts where they've shown the flyover, so I believe it is going to happen. However, we'll just have to see how that one pans out.
And what is the actual drive time from Toowoomba into Brisbane these days?
Well, if you get a good run, you can be there in an hour and 10 minutes. But if you hit every light and a bit of traffic, maybe an hour and a half.
So you've got people that have moved into Toowoomba that are probably doing that commute daily into Brisbane.
That's very true. We do get some of that. But then again, Toowoomba itself, there's plenty of work here. We have wonderful everything that you would want here, major corporations, etc. So there is not always the need to travel.
And before I let you go, congratulations too, because I understand that you're one of the highest achieving real estate agents for ReMax right around the country. Did you say the top selling agent?
Yes, I just won that big award, which I'm very thankful to all my sellers who trust me to sell their properties for them. Yes, I did win that big award. Number one in Australia for the most amount of properties sold and the most amount of commission generated. So that was really exciting and very, very thankful for.
Well, congratulations on that, Jacqui, and thanks for coming on and explaining to us a little bit more in detail about the Toowoomba market. I'm sure that has enlightened particularly either investors or some first home buyers and maybe some families looking to maybe cash out of Brisbane and go to a smaller regional area. Thanks for coming on to the Real Estate Breakfast. Enjoy your Friday and the weekend coming up.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or a first-time buyer, know your property with us on the Real Estate Podcast.
They suggest that actually real estate agents should provide information, so that we require real estate agents to provide that information. Obviously, that means that those real estate agents also need to get that information, but actually to make it part of the selling process.
First of all, congratulations to Jacko that he was, is at that point where he is really planning to make that move. And I think the worst scenario that you could potentially be in is losing your job and then defaulting on those mortgage repayments. And I would always lay out every decision needs to be the primary guidance is what is right for you.
People don't realise that the credit legislation that we have in Australia gives people the right to ask for their contract to be varied if their circumstances have changed. The customer can ask their lender for whatever variation they need on their contract so that they can meet their obligations. And the lender has to consider that request. If they don't agree with it, they have to say why.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.